very warm welcome to you all. Many thanks for joining us on this week's edition of the program. As you know, we are your source for all the latest happenings in the world of business. My name is Margaret Mary Usibor. You're welcome. On the lineup this week, we join Faith and her guests on the town hall as they discuss gender equality. Is the insurance industry improving for women? While the number of women in top management positions in the insurance industry has improved considerably, many women are still overlooked when there are opportunities for promotion. Not because they are not suitably qualified, but just because they are women. Do take a listen.
Gender inequality, to me, it's inhuman, because you need not discriminate against me because of my gender. Let's put everything on the table. You will see that women make better managers than men.
On this edition also, we'll bring you highlights of the 2018 Agribusiness and Food Security Summit that took place recently at the Landmark Event Center here in Lagos. The theme was evolving actionable models to make agribusiness more viable. The special guest of honor was Godwin Obaseki, the Executive Governor of Edo State. Now, speaking during his presentation, the Honorable Minister of Agriculture and Rural Development, Chief Audu Ogbe, said that the private sector holds the key to sustainable agricultural development in Nigeria because the government is a hopeless manager of business. Do take a listen.
The federal government has no farm of its own. If we are tempted to run a farm to be a disaster, government is the hopeless manager of business. It's the private sector. If government is running a factory and a belt was to cut in a machine, you may have to write a memo to the permanent secretary who will pass it to the director in charge, and the director is on leave, and when he returns there is no vote in the budget, and you have to wait for the budget of the next year, and therefore the factory is down maybe for 6 months.
Plus, of course, all the other extras we bring you each week on this program. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the lineup. Details in just a moment. Please stay with us.
Do you know if a child, a spouse, a parent, or a sibling depends on you and your income, you need life insurance? A very warm welcome to you. It's a pleasure to have you join us on the Insurance Industry Town Hall. As you know, this is where we discuss topical issues that are germane to the insurance industry in Nigeria. Today, we'll be looking at the topic, Gender Equality: Is the Insurance Industry Improving for Women? This million-dollar question will be our topic of discuss, and in our usual manner, we've gathered an array of tested personalities to do justice to our topic of discuss. In no particular order, I'd like to invite to join me on set Mrs. Bumi Igetsi, who is the head of Southwest Brokers Market / Operations of Niger Insurance PLC. She has also worked in the underwriting, reinsurance, and marketing department of the same organization. Thank you so very much, ma'am, for joining us on the program. I'd also like to invite to join us on set Mrs. Titilayo Olufisayo Adebiyi, who is a director, High Court Consult, Lagos. She was a manager, General Business Department, NFI Insurance between 1996 to 2004, heads General Business, Great Nigeria Insurance PLC, Associate Leadway Assurance Company Limited. She's a part-time lecturer and faculty member, College of Insurance and Financial Management, and she's an associate of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria, CII. Thank you so very much, ma'am, for joining us on set. Last but not least, I'd like to invite to join me on set Mrs. Mowen Emegalu, who is the Deputy General Manager, Corporate Marketing, Mutual Benefit Assurance, PLC. She holds an MBA from the University of Port Harcourt. She is a fellow of the Chartered Insurance Institute of Nigeria. Thank you so very much, ma'am, for joining us on set. Once again, thank you, ladies, beautiful ladies, for joining me on set. Thank you so very much. I'm going to start with Mrs. Adebi. The insurance industry over the years, if you trace back the history, it has always been a male-dominated industry. Has that changed in recent times?
Yes, it has changed, though at a rather very slow pace. It's not as it used to be, because I remember in the 80s, when we first started insurance, then I was at Sun Insurance, we had only one chief executive of an insurance company then. That was the late Erelu Aino. So, and very few women were in the industry generally. And importantly, very few women were also in key positions as managers in their various companies. But these days, you see women occupying posts of managing directors, executive directors, technical directors. But like I've said, relative to men, to the men folk, the proportion is still low. And one would have expected like a faster growth rate now, because we are talking of almost 30 years back. And within that long period of time, other financial sectors have had their women featuring more prominently in every sector of their industry. But for insurance, I think it's been at a very slow pace. Okay,
Mrs. Emegwe, what would you say is responsible for the slow pace that she talked about?
We have an organization or an association which the insurance industry, well, we women, we came together and thought we should form an association that will promote skills like leadership skills, managerial skills, because the men have always put women, you know, at the background because of home responsibilities. They see that you always give one excuse or the other. So you find out that they don't like to project women. So women have come together to form an association called Professional Insurance Ladies Association to promote these skills so that women can be able to take leadership roles. And we have 49 insurance companies. Since we started that association, that's about 20 years ago, we've come up with, there are about 10 female chief executives as we speak, out of 49 insurance companies. And that's quite a long stride as compared to the 80s, like my colleague have said. You know, so we've done a lot better. But it can be better, if you say 49, we still have like 39, you know, insurance companies still to be led by women. So we are still in that process, and I'm sure we're going to do a lot better.
Okay, Mrs. Igetsi, oftentimes you hear the excuse that men give is that, oh, women, all they do is to cry, they go to the world stage and cry, the Gene conference, they cry, they want leadership positions to be given to them on a platter of gold. Do you think that is what has kept women back in the insurance industry?
Well, I think it's partly because women, we've not really come out. We are not tooting our horns. We're not being assertive enough. And also, we're not burning the candle or the candle lamp. We're not playing the boardroom politics like men do.
Can women ever play boardroom politics?
Of course you can. Of course you can.
They are trying now.
Of course you can.
Yes.
And initially, women used to uplift themselves, you know, but right now, women are getting more enlightened. We're upholding ourselves, we're lifting ourselves up, and we're striving to compete with our men. The men are seeing us as more serious because we're coming out. Women are coming out. Right now, we've had two women, for 2 terms they've been president of the Chartered Insurance Institute, Lady Ifeoma Chukwuma and Mrs. Fumi Babintin Ashayi.
Who is the current president?
Yes, the DG of the NIA, Mrs. Ilori. She's a woman. She was the former MD of Ansa Mansard. And also we have women like Dr. Mrs. Yeside Oyetayo. She's the rector of the College of Insurance and Financial Management. We have the DG of Lagos State Pension Commission, Mrs. Shadi Ononuga. We have Mrs. Chukwu, Mrs. Uju Chukwu. She's the deputy DG of the CIIN. And we've had past president of the NCRIB, we've had Barrister Laide Oshijo.
Okay, speaking of Barrister Mrs. Laide Oshijo, will bring me to my next question. I do remember we covered her investiture then, and you know, it took almost 50 years of the existence of the NCRIB to produce its very first president. So my question is, how easy really is it for women to push through in the insurance industry to get to the top?
We have to play like the men. We are women, but we have to play like the men to get there. We have to go extra mile. You know, when a man is running a mile, we'll go extra mile. And then we kind of balance our domestic affairs with our career. If you want to be a career woman, you should put yourself together. Package yourself together. Be able to have public speech. Speak to people, a large people sitting down without you, checking yourself, holding your ear like men don't do. No, you have to play like a man you are a woman, but you play like a man to be up there.
Mrs. Emegwari, how easy is it for women to push through to the top in this industry?
I can tell you the truth, it's not easy. The challenges for a woman, just like she has said, having to balance what you do in the office and, combining with your home front, in trying to not to make one to suffer for the other, you really have to put in so much. I tell young ones coming up and I'm like, you do 2 times more as a woman than a man. If the same goals are given to you and a man, you have to put in twice the effort. You cannot do a lot of hangouts like they do. Mm-hmm. If they want to close business, they go at night to close business, but you are facing, your home front. Mm-hmm. So it means during the day, you have to be seen. But the truth is, the way they have categorized women, they'll tell you, like, even the president has come out to say, oh, women belong to the kitchen and the other room. And that was really very offensive to women because, no, we have gone past that level. Mm-hmm. We have gone past that stage. It is true, we do not take it for granted that our core responsibility is taking care of the home, our children, bringing them up properly. But we also want to play fairly, career-wise. And one of the things that we can also do, or that we are doing, is training. Ensuring that we equip our women with the skills. Because what made a lot of them not to come out then was because a lot of them were not really equipped with the skills, leadership skills, managerial skills, emotional intelligence. You need those skills to be able to come out. You don't need to cry. If a man is doing something, you be able to stand and say, but the factual, say those points that will earn you that respect. You don't need to sell yourself like they believe, oh, a woman is doing well, or maybe a man has.
Okay, how do you even overcome that stereotype? Because it's what we say, not just even here. It's if you see a woman at the top, men tend to stereotype, oh, she has either slept her way to get there or something. And sometimes I get very offensive in certain cases and I say, do you mean that women are so dumb, they just can't get anything on their own, or they have to sleep to get to wherever they are? So, but my question is, how do women overcome that challenge of stereotype? Oh, she's there, she must have done something with some other man for her to be in that position.
Yes, let me first of all say that at times, in affairs concerning women, men are the decision makers.
Because they are
the ones at the top. And because men are the decision makers, unfortunately, they are also the rumor mongers. It's not been easy because the ceiling has been there since ages past. That look, as a woman, right from birth, you are being discriminated against. What does your wife have? Oh, she has a baby girl. If it's a baby boy, everybody will rejoice. But like we said, we are breaking that ceiling now. Because gender inequality, to me, it's inhuman. Because you need not discriminate against me because of my gender. Let's put everything on the table. You will see that women make better managers than men. Because if you are able to manage a home, human beings at home,
including the men,
who are the husbands at home, then we should be able, if we want to be sincere with ourselves, we should be able to manage even career-wise better. Now, concerning the stereotype, how do you remove that? One, like one of my colleagues just said this morning, that when I'm at work, I don't see myself as a woman. I see myself as an employee and as a professional. And I play accordingly. Once I had a meeting, we were trying to get a software for a company that was Nigerian French. And one of the providers said, Madam, your holy book taught you that when men are talking, you go and ask at home. I said, look, the same holy book said that is towards my husband. As far as this job is concerned, we are all professionals. And so let's discuss about professionals. It has happened to me before. And then he kept quiet. Everybody was looking. I said, no. The Bible says I should submit to my husband. Not to a man, at home, not in the office. Then we are discussing professionally now. So this is a profession, this is our job. So I have to take my stand. And I've always carried course to defend any discrimination against women. Not necessarily because they are lazy or because they are women, but because the men folk that you are trying to put into that position, they are not in any way better than that woman that you are trying to deny that position.
Alright, welcome back. Moving on now, we bring you highlights of the 2018 Agribusiness and Food Security Summit that took place recently here in Lagos. The summit provides a platform for key players in the agricultural value chain and policymakers to discuss critical issues affecting the development of agriculture in Nigeria. It's been agreed that access to credit and basic infrastructure remains the biggest challenge affecting agriculture in this country. Happy viewing.
The Agriculture Promotion Policy from 2016 to 2020 by the Ministry of Agriculture shows that there is a 20.14 million metric ton deficit across 13 crops alone and 16 million poultry birds deficit. These deficits represent challenges in food security. Business Day Conference recently put together the 2018 Agribusiness and Food Security Summit at the Landmark Event Center. The theme was Evolving Actionable Models to make agribusiness more viable. Welcoming participants to the summit, Mr. Frank Aibogun, publisher and CEO Business Day, said that it is helpful that people have access to funds, but more importantly, what they do with the funds.
It is helpful that people have access to funds, but it is equally important what they do or what they are able to do after production. Therefore, we need to support the millions of smallholder farmers with developing an efficient and viable farm-to-market mechanism. And in this regard, we salute the effort of organizations like Sahel Capital, Babangana, for their groundbreaking initiatives. And it is interesting that these are organizations that are led by our own people. Indeed, we are showing that despite the disaffection that we sometimes feel as a nation, there is indeed a lot that is inspiring that we must take notice of.
In his Google message, the Deputy Ambassador of the Netherlands, Mr. Michael Dellen, stated that government must create the enabling environment by making basic infrastructure available to farmers.
I think a lot of farmers would already be very pleased if the roads would be improved. You know, a simple thing, at least it sounds sometimes so simple. I know it can be a big challenge. But just to have good roads, then, you know, government doesn't need to build all kind of other infrastructure or farms or marketplaces or even warehouses. But if you create the enabling environment, if you create transport, if you make sure that, for example, farmers can bring in their inputs through the port in an easy and fast and quick way, and containers with seeds and so on are not stored there for months and months, these type of things, they're not, you know, rocket science. And I think by doing those, government can facilitate agriculture in a way which then can be picked up by the private sector.
Food security has become a hot topic globally because it is estimated that by 2050, the world's population will surpass 9 billion and demand for agricultural products is expected to double. Delivering his keynote address, the special guest of honor, Chief Audu Ogbe, Honorable Minister of Agriculture, said that high interest rates have destroyed and demoralized productivity in Nigeria.
Can you access credit to go into agric? That's one of the biggest challenges facing Nigerians who want to do business today. Bank interest rates are impossible. At 25 to 35%, nobody can apply any of that kind of credit to anything productive. You can do some trading with that. Except, of course, if what you want to produce is cocaine, which is not allowed. Such high interest rates have actually destroyed and totally demoralized productivity in our country. So we're working on something, and that's the good news for young people. We are pushing for agric lending rates to drop to 5%. And I expect you to applaud that, because unless and until we do so, we will get nowhere.
In his brief remarks, the special guest of honor, the Executive Governor of Edo State, Mr. Godwin Obaseki, said that partnership between stakeholders in the agricultural space is key.
You know, we don't think about community action plans when we think about planning out agriculture. But there is no way that you can have peaceful existence in a community, even when the governor has given you your C of O, if there is no community action plan, there's no clear understanding of the relationship between you and the communities who originally owned the land. So such partnerships must be created. The other thing we should think about is capacity. I listened to the Honorable Minister very, very carefully. And in his opening remarks, he talked about his experience as a young child going to farm. Right? Sir, this was 50 years ago? Yeah. What we don't understand is that 2 generations of Nigerians, particularly those who are well educated, have not had anything to do with the land, have not had anything to do with agriculture. So for us, for these generations, agriculture is just another textbook, understanding. And so when you ask young people and, not too young, to think of picking up opportunities that exist in the agricultural space, yes, they'll be excited, but the moment they get in there to see the real challenges, because they've not gone through that learning curve, they get dissuaded and distracted.
The keynote speaker at the summit this year was Hans Willem van der Waal, Managing Director, AgroFair Europe BV. Many have argued that substantial growth in agricultural productivity in Nigeria can be achieved through investment, innovation, policies, and other improvements. However, realizing this growth requires an exceptional level of collaboration among stakeholders in its value chain.
And that is our time on the program this week. Thank you for being a part of it. Do keep a date with us next week, same time, same station, for a fresh package. But in the meantime, feel free as always to connect with us on all our social media platforms. Don't forget that you can join us live every Wednesday on Niger FM 102.7 for our Pidgin English program, Waiting Insurance They Do Sef. Also tell your folks in Obosi, Anambra State to tune in to Odenigbo 99.1 FM every Thursday by 12:30 p.m. for the same program. Our free Pidgin English newspaper for the month of June is out, so grab your copy as soon as you can. Once again, my name is Margaret Mary Osiobor. Until next week, from the entire crew, it's goodbye.